no? 15 and 16, which basically talks about the administrative and criminal offenses. And para sa akin, isa rin itong mahalagang parte ng batas na kung saan ginagawa nating penalty, no? Nagbibigay tayo ng penalty sa hindi pagsunod dito sa pagpo-post ng information. If you look at what happened sa flood control, it started with the SONA, the president talking about mahiya naman kayo, doon nagsimula. Then he had to publish who are the top contractors. That was news to a lot of people. If this law is passed, we will know who the contractors are. We will know what projects are being done and not being done. We will know magkano ang mga ginagastos sa mga proyektong ito, even up to the magkano yung bakal, magkano yung semento, magkano yung kahoy na ginagamit. And that should be automatically disclosed already to the public. That's really the biggest difference that this law will be able to provide. Then you have, of course, the tech component which secures that data and allows it to be interoperable and analyzed by the public through different APIs and even with artificial intelligence. No, that's really the phase 2 and phase 3 of this law. But if you look at the teeth of the law, ito talaga yun. Kung merong tinatagong dokumento, administrative, kung di siya magawa within 7 days, at magiging criminal kung 30 days na, tinatago pa rin yung mga dokumento. Any citizen can file these cases administratively to the Ombudsman or the Civil Service Commission, or even to and to them also for criminal offenses, no? Correct. The penalty is 6 years and 1 day to 15 years for not disclosing within 30 days. Iba pa kung may nahanapan na fraud yung tinagong dokumento. Kung yung tinagong dokumento may kasamang fraud or pagnanakaw or pagkukubra ng pera ng bayan, pwedeng ma-charge yung responsible officer as a co-conspirator. And that's heavy. Mabigat yun. Mabigat yun. So we're hoping that when this law is passed, it will not only promote the disclosure but also create a new regime where documents that pertain to the people's budget, mga dokumento na naglalaman ng pera ng bayan, pag hindi ito di-disclose, pwede talagang may maparusahan. Initially, administrative, suspension, reprimand, even dismissal, eventually, and especially if with fraud, even criminal offenses. So mabigat po ito. And it will be up to the citizens to also watch and analyze. And we're hopefully allowing citizens to have all of the tools necessary, or to allow them so that the tools that are already available to the public can be used to really analyze the budget further. So even DBM, I think, magbabago yung buhay with this law. Kasi currently, no, ang Kongreso, Senado, DBM, and even the watchdogs, we have a difficult time analyzing the budget. Napakahaba, napakarami. But once this is interoperable, once we allow technologies to actually look at the data, understand the data, regular citizens, not just watchdogs, will have the power to really understand saan napupunta yung pera ng bayan, and eventually to file cases if need be. No? So, ano po ito? Malayo pa ito, magsusponsor pa lang tayo, pero mataas po yung pangarap natin sa batas na to, and we're hoping that this will really address some of the problems that we have uncovered here in the Senate and in Congress, and of course na nasa laman ng puso at isipan ng publiko. So that's section 15 and 16. And then the rest are pro forma for laws already, the oversight and the rest, no. So maybe kung meron ba ditong, siguro we can have like 1 or 2 people speak kung merong burning comment na gustong ibigay. Anyone? Sige, we'll have AJ, si Yusek Dave, and then si attorney can be our last person, no? Okay? And then again, hindi naman po ito last time. Pwede pa kayo mag-submit, and we will submit again to you the next version. I think we're in version 6 already, so we'll submit version 7 to you already. And in advance, I'm inviting everyone to please come and support me when I sponsor this on November 12, no? Sa AJ, go ahead. So AJ, Yusek, Dave, and then si Attorney Glenn. Attorney Gleam, no? Yes, okay. Go ahead, AJ.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I think the penal provisions are one of the most important facets of this bill. So we strongly support this part. We'd like to point out also that some of the data that's here should already be in the general provisions of the GAA laws. So the problem is hindi siya na-implement kasi nga walang pangil yung GAA when it comes to that. So we hope that since the budget process is already in the Senate, that can continue to be brought up. We just want to ask if the current phrasing of the law, yung provisions ng penal provisions, already also includes yung incomplete provision of the data. So for example, baka minimum compliance lang ibigay nila, masabi nila na they published it, but yung standards natin, for example, it might not be as clear. So for example, failure to upload, disclose, or publish the required public budget data, does it necessarily mean that they will upload the file in a format na gusto natin?
I know, because that's the most key, di ba? Yun yung pinakamahalaga. So it's implied, but we can make it explicit. So we'll put as described in this act. No, so we can make it even more explicit.
So I think that's all, Mr. Chair. Despite our concerns on blockchain, I think we appreciate that you're sponsoring a very forward-looking measure, leveraging technology, and I think we're willing to support. We're eager to support anything that pushes for transparency and better accountability by holding government agencies and officials accountable. So maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair.
Yusek, Dave.
First, Mr. Chair, I would like to thank you for really spearheading this very impactful and timely law for the full disclosure of government transactions through the establishment of a digital public ledger system to enhance transparency, accountability, and public participation in the Philippine budget. Blockchain creation is not actually expensive, especially for this particular, so there's no business here. Wala pong sabi nga ni Miss Ann, nag-chat nga kami, 50,000 pesos lang, pwede ka nang gumawa ng node eh. Diba? So, hindi mo kailangan po ng hundreds or million po na pera po dito just to build nodes. Hindi po to, wala pong negosyo pong involved po dito talaga, no? And my humble plea to everyone, since this is already here, and this is already, for me, it's an enlightening moment for all of us, that we will be helping the Philippines to clean itself. We are all anti-corruption here, and not only for us, but for the next generations to come. I think lahat ng mga expert dito will be conducting po sa DICT ng separate blockchain public consultation. We will invite din po dito. We've been instructed po by our secretary and also Secretary Go and other po secretary to the DICT will conduct po a separate technical working group for blockchain para doon po tayo mag-usap-usap. And again, Mr. Chair, thank you so much. And 100% po, DICT is actually behind you and make this happen as soon as possible, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Yusek. Attorney, you have the last word for today.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for recognizing our organization po. We would like to suggest also in the upcoming law, sir, that, Your Honor, that we should also put the evidentiary value po. Because what we have suggested in our position paper that the weight of the Cadena Network, the weight of its evidence must be prima facie evidence. Para yun mas mabigat. See, the fact na prima facie po siya, it is valid, but until it has to be disproved. Because nakakalungkot lang pa naman kasi kung may sa batas natin ito, and we are in the scenario of the litigation na po, na masascot-free lang dahil na-technical na naman po tayo. Which is very saddening po. Then, also, Your Honor, just to think also that this is very beautiful. It is a delicate balance between the concept of technology neutrality also. Actually po kasi yung concept po ng technology neutrality, it is a very, hindi lang siya vague, it's a nebulous concept. Even for us lawyers, even when I was studying technology, napakahirap intindihin yan actually. And it is also rarely discussed even in the academy, even in law school actually. That's why to help the good sponsor of this bill, we will be submitting a position paper on how to address this concept of technology neutrality and its and also the alternatives to it. And also yung sa ano po, just to educate the public then. Yes, the blockchain technology is conceptualized in the 90s, but is what they teach exclusively to my lawyer students in the MCLC. Yung concept po ng consensus, it was already been conceptualized 8,000 years ago actually. If you have the luxury, you can, the living proof of this is you visit the Yap Island in Micronesia. Doon nyo po madidiscover yung paano po na-conceptualize yung pinakaunang konsepto ng distributed ledger. Yung sa Yap Island, yun po yung nandun po makikita nyo yung history po talaga nung paano na-conceptualize yung tinatawag yung distributed ledger na naging blockchain po. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Attorney. Request ko lang is their position paper, please refer to the provisions, meaning mag-direct suggestions na kayo rather than a position paper kasi nebulous na nga yung concept, baka nebulous rin yung position paper ninyo. So,
because baka doon po tayo dalihin nung sa interpellation.
Oo. And I appreciate the perspective on the litigation. So thank you for that, no? Kasi we didn't have that really in mind when we crafted the law. So that input would be very important, no? Salamat. Okay, si Ann, nag-request, please. So Ann, quickly na lang. Thank you.
1 minute support statement, Mr. Chair. Transparency is the strongest antidote to corruption. Kaya napakaganda po ng bill na inahin po ninyo this morning. Bawat pisong galing sa buwis ng taong bayan ay dapat nasusundan mula sa pagkakalaan nito sa budget hanggang sa huling disbursement. Pero yung totoo, marami pa ring impormasyon tungkol sa paggastos ng gobyerno ang hiwa-hiwalay. Dahil dito, nagkakaroon ng kalabuan, maling paggamit ng pondo, at iba pa. Sa huli, Mr. Chair, ang Kadena Act na hinain niyo po ay magbibigay daan sa unang real-time, citizen-verifiable budget transparency system sa bansa. Hindi lang ito tungkol sa data, ito ay tungkol sa tiwala. Tiwala ng taong bayan na ang pera ng bayan ay ginagamit sa tama at may saysay sa bawat pisong ginagastos. Para sa ating mga mambabatas, we are challenging you to make things right. Kung gusto nating maitama ang mali sa gobyerno, ipasa po natin ang Kadena Act. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Ann. I'd like to thank everyone for attending today. Maraming salamat. Thank you for all of your inputs. Sa mga tao pong nanonood, alam niyo po, hindi lang during the hearings nagtatrabaho yung mga tao. Everyone is helping the TWG, providing position papers, nagtatawag, nagsisend ng mga dokumento, and we'd like to thank everyone. Alam niyo po, ang Kadena Act, no? For me, nagsisimula talaga to sa FOI, sa Freedom of Information, no? Matagal na pong sinusulong yan. In fact, even as we speak, merong FOI bill na nakahain ngayon sa Senado. But the FOI bill, which basically mandated agencies to respond when queried, pag tinatanong, kailangan magresponde, at some point, naging full disclosure bill po yun, na kung saan sana yung mga ahensya, malaya na lang na magbibigay ng kanilang datos sa publiko. Yung konsepto pong iyon, yung full disclosure, naging blockchain the budget, na yung unang version po natin, at ngayon po na marami na po nagkomento, si blockchain the budget, ngayon po ay Kadena Act na yung tawag natin, no? So, nagbabago po yung versions na hinahanap po natin, pero iisa pa rin yung konsepto na ang pera ng bayan dapat pinapangalagaan. Ang pera ng bayan hindi dapat ninanakaw, dapat napupunta sa tama. Yung pera ng bayan, may karapatan ng bawat mamamayan na malaman kung saan napupunta yung perang pinaghirapan at buwis na binibigay buwan-buwan. At habang tayo'y nagbabayad ng buwis, karapatan natin na malaman kung saan napupunta yung pera. Yung mga investigasyon po dito, sa totoo lang po, yung punot dulo ng lahat ng yan, nangyayari yung korupsyon kapag walang transparency. Kapag natatago ang lagay sa bill of materials, kapag naluluto yung mga bidding, dahil yung mga contractor pare-parehas lang naman, at iisang kumpanya lang, kahit 8 sila magbibid, isang tao lang pala yan, o di kaya, kung ilalabas lang yung mga papeles, malinaw naman na meron talagang overpricing na nangyayari. Lahat pong yan, sana matitigil o hindi man mabawasan, sana kapag yung mga dokumento alam ng publiko, kapag yung datos nandyan, nakikita ng taong bayan, yan po talaga yung isang malaking deterrent sa korupsyon sa ating bansa. Dahil lahat ng mga ito itong mga investigations, flood control, lahat pong yan, all of that could have been stopped if all of these documents were made public at may nakabantay, no? Ngayon po, ang hangarin natin sa Kadena Act, nakakadena yung budget ng taong bayan. Yung people's budget, nakakadena siya, nakalock siya, no? Hindi madaling magamit lang basta-basta. It's now available with the law. When this becomes law, it will be available to the public, at hindi lang sa mga PDF na binanggit ni Ms. Marilu ng InsightGov na napakahirap intindihin, pero nasa lingwahe na kung saan kaya siyang ma-analyze, kaya siyang magamitan ng iba't ibang teknolohiya para mas maintindihan. Sabi ko nga noong unang hearing, pwede tayo magka-alert kapag mayroong proyekto na kung saan yung presyo ng bakal at presyo ng semento mas mataas sa hardware store, pwede mag-alert na kaagad. Pwede tayo gumawa ng mga programa na naka-alert kaagad yon, naka-alert sa COA, naka-alert sa DBM, naka-alert sa mga watchdog, naka-alert sa media. As it's happening real time, malalaman ng taong bayan kung may mga overpriced na mga proyekto. Can you imagine, ganung level of technology ang meron na sa ating kamay ngayon. So ako rin po, I also invite everyone, huwag tayong matakot sa teknolohiya. Gamitin natin yung teknolohiya para sa taong bayan. We can use the right technology, of course, at the right price, no, yung tamang teknolohiya sa tamang panahon, sa tamang presyo para matugunan natin yung mga problema natin. Huwag tayong matakot sa teknolohiya. These technologies have been here for years. Maraming practitioners sa Pilipinas na magagaling at mabubuting tao at naganais ng maganda rin sa ating bansa. Pagsama natin yung tech sector na marami po nandito, yung mga watchdogs na marami rin po dito, akadema at mga media, pagsama natin sila, let's all come together and propose a solution to the problems that we've been seeing in our country. Sa totoo lang, dekada-dekada na rin yung mga problemang ito. We're hoping for a lasting solution. But bilang panghuli, gusto ko rin pong sabihin, hindi ho natin to papakawalan. Kumbaga, if we're able to pass this law early 2026, napakabilis po niyan. Pero kung mapasa po natin yan, hindi tayo titigil. We will make sure that we exercise oversight function to make sure that it's implemented properly, it's funded properly, and yung phase 1, uulitin ko po, yung phase 1 napakahalaga. Bantayan natin na mangyari yung phase 1. Yung phase 1 is within 9 months from the passage of the law, nakapublish na yung mga dokumentong nakalista sa Section 5 na napakarami at doon po nilalaman yung mga dokumento na kung saan tinatago yung pagnanakaw sa ating bansa. So dyan po napakahalaga and kailangan natin bantayan hanggang phase 1 and then phase 2 and phase 3. Diyan na po papasok ang DICT at iba pang mga tech companies dito. Siguraduhin natin na meron tayong magandang good way to contain the data in a decentralized, tamper-proof, tamper-evident, digitally verifiable at ang mga terms na ito, natutunan ko po yan sa inyo, interoperable way na kung saan magagamit po yung data ng taong bayan at ng iba't ibang grupo. And that's really the goal. And, you know, ako po, I'm still optimistic if we can get this passed and implemented properly in 2 to 3 years, nakikita po natin isang malaking pagbabago pagdating sa paghawak ng pera ng bayan. And I'm happy that DBM is here. No? DICT is here. Nauuna na yung DPWH kasi ito po talaga yung tawag ng panahon. This is what the people require of government, no? Na makita natin yung mga pagbabago at makita natin na mas transparent talaga tayo pagdating sa perang pinaghihirapan ng mga kababayan natin. So thank you again. This is not the last time we will see each other. I hope you will join me when I sponsor this on November 12. We will, of course, welcome all of the suggestions. We hope to improve this bill even further.